Hi guys, so today's vlog is another lesson vlog. I'm actually filming this intro after the lesson. I'm going on holiday tomorrow actually, and it was just jam-packed with having lessons, getting vlogs edited, photography, brand stuff, getting it all wrapped up for Instagram, and it was just a bit chaotic. So I can kind of tell you a bit about the lesson because it's already happened. I just wanted a lesson before I left because I hadn't had a jumping session in a while, and I didn't want to leave anything on a bad note because I was going to be away for a week. So I wanted a wee lesson just to make sure it all went to plan and things. Honestly, didn't really need it. He had recently been going out like 24 hours overnight, and he was just a bit like I'm bloated, it's warm, it's summer. He wasn't as fizzy as I was expecting him to be. So he didn't jump too big because he hadn't been jumped in a while. Obviously he didn't want to like break his legs. We just kept nice and small. We actually worked on angled fences, which I've never done before with him. And that's all I'm going to spoil because I'm talking too much. But yes, I will do a little voiceover and talk you through everything and let you know how everything went, how everything felt, etc, etc. I will stop rambling now and let's get on into the video.
Hello everybody, and let the voiceover begin once again. So at the start of our lesson we just did lots of pushing him forwards and then bringing him back. I wouldn't quite say like extending him and shortening him. It wasn't good enough to be called that, but that type of vibe. And again, lots of walk transitions, trying to get him to go forwards into walk rather than to crawl into a walk. His canter transitions also weren't the sharpest. This is just shortening across the long side or short side and lengthening up the long side. I wanted to get him really off my leg because, as I had said, he was recently out in the field overnight, and he was a little bit sluggish and a little bit behind the leg. Nothing wrong with him, he was just feeling a bit fat and wanted to go on a holiday. But he is on a holiday this week as I head off to Tenerife. Woohoo! So yes, getting him nice and off my leg, nice and forwards, bringing him back. He actually looks quite nice here. He does start to get tired about halfway through, but you'll see that very clearly. He's actually not looking too bad. I'm not asking it was a disaster actually. Yeah, that wasn't great. I just didn't have enough impulsion and didn't put my leg on before the first pole, so he kind of stumbled over it and then just sped up and sped up and sped up. But I was kind of thinking, I'm going to let him figure it out because I know he can. If I start interfering right now, then he's going to trip over things and I don't think it would end very well. So I did just kind of stand up in my stirrups a little bit and let him figure out what to do with his own feet in that situation, which my instructor kind of agreed might not have been the worst idea because he does know he can work his feet obviously. Now we're just doing a lot of trotting in circles and cantering in circles and walking in circles down at this bottom corner of the arena. Moreno, as you can see, you saw the other horse in the dressage arena there. Moreno is scared of this corner here. You can see that. He had a bit of a spook and just refused to keep cantering. He's quite spooky in this corner. He normally would have a bit of a moment. And then with the other horse being in the arena, and there was also a van driving around at the top of the arena, he just was losing his marbles a little bit. And I'd said to my instructor, instead of ignoring it and him potentially spooking, me having a confidence knock before holiday and then not being able to ride back again, we decided to try and work on it and make sure he was chilled. So you can see now he actually has really settled after he had a few laps to look at everything. There's absolutely no forwards energy in this whatsoever, but I just wanted to keep it chilled, just popping over 2 wee poles. He was actually listening to me quite well. He was going over the poles on the strides that I wanted him to, and he was letting me lengthen and shorten through them, so I was actually quite pleased with that. Then we're going to pop down these again. He actually, bit of a stumble thing there, but he pops through the end of it really, really nicely. He's really, really obedient, which I was all biz with, especially with the other horse being there. He wasn't distracted, he was really paying attention to me. So then we tried to canter over the poles, but we start with this little turquoise kind of green colour pole. So this one we got in very close so I just shortened him a bit and let him pop over that. And then the next time round, I believe it's the opposite. I think we come in and I push him for a longer one, which I think my instructor had set this up on a bit of a random angle on purpose, because she knew, you know, there's no strides to count, and I had been getting quite in my head about stridings and how to meet the perfect stride, and my instructor was kind of saying, you know, there's not always going to be a perfect stride. You're going to have to shorten in some occasions, you're going to have to lengthen in some occasions. I'm very off balance, that's why he did that little flying change there. That's completely my fault, no balance whatsoever. I was leaning more towards the right and he should have been on the left, so that was my fault. But yes, I was able to ride him, able to push him and able to shorten him, so there we go, a bit more balance that time. So again, was all delighted with that. Oh, there's like a little thingy just came up my laptop, there we go. You can see, still cantering around. He's actually not looking too bad. I don't really ask him for much, like to look like a posh dressage horse in our jumping lessons, but he's actually doing it himself without me asking, which I'm quite pleased with. I pulled a little circle here because I just didn't feel like I had a good enough canter for the pose. I felt like I needed a bit more. So I thought I'll just stick a wee circle in and then we will come again. We're just going over the pose again. How does this go now? He looks quite nice and collected. Pops over that, lovely. And how do we get to this last one? Lovely, popped over that one, really nice as well. And he stayed really calm and collected. Sometimes we have an issue of whenever he sees, you know, like one pole and another pole following, or if it's jumps in a grid, he does get quite enthusiastic. So this is just a first little jump. He just pops over that, trotted into it, cantered into this next one, absolutely tiny, not much impulsion at all, but I was holding him for more strides in between it, so I kind of was holding him without putting the leg on, so instead of creating impulsion I was just killing the power. So here we go again. I believe we're going to trot into it again. That is a little trot pole before. It looks like it's straight under the jump, but it's actually not. It is a little trot pole beforehand. That was much better. You can see he was much more forwards. Rode him a bit more forwards into it and he popped that lovely. Again, changed leg, but that's my fault for being off balanced. I tend to have a bit of a balance issue on that side, so that is something I need to address, and like I know about it. So here we start jumping on an angle. I have never tried jumping on an angle with Moreno before. I don't know if it's the dressage rider in me, but everything's nice and straight and collected, and I have never tried an angle on any horse, never mind Moreno. So we're going to try and pop into this wee second part of the double. And he takes a bit of a flyer because I think he just thought, yeah, Ellie's not riding today. And he wasn't wrong. So I just corrected the canter there. God love him, he did do really well to get me out of that one. I just corrected the canter and popped the other one at an angle. Got in a little bit close, but he did a lovely little flying change over that one. And then back to trot, just a trot little circle, and then we go back to walk for a little walk break, I believe. Yep, and then we're going to canter over the poles now, aren't we? Are we? No, we're not. We're going back to the jump. So how does this one go? Do I ride this a bit better? You can see I've gone a bit more forward. That was much better. I didn't ask for the flying change at all. Don't know why. Just didn't fancy it apparently. Correct the canter and then come at this wee fence at an angle again, and he popped over that lovely. Actually, that was quite nice. Did his flying change, and then yeah, coming up over the poles. How does this go now? Okay, he broke the trot a little bit and then changed the leg, but he finished it nicely. He's quite good for canter. He's quite well balanced, so some occasions if I feel like he has enough power and enough balance, I will keep him going in canter. I do try and change the leg sometimes, but sometimes you're too close to the next fence and things, and I do just keep him in canter. So here we go, popping this again, and yeah, thought that was coming. We just completely misread it. I'm not sure if he wasn't concentrating or I think it was a mix of him not really concentrating, me not really riding, and a bit of laziness at this point with the heat. So he stumbled over it. We did get a bit of a flying change though. Well, I don't know if you can call it a flying change. We changed legs somehow. Popped over the next one on an angle, got another lovely flying change. and the poles, popped the poles lovely. That distance was a little bit short for him, so he just knocked it, but that was not his fault. It was just a little bit short, and we hadn't walked it beforehand. So now we're going to pop over that little fence, which he took a bit of a flyer into and I wasn't expecting, and then we're coming on an angle to the second part of that wee double. Pops over that, lovely actually, and then I believe I'm coming on an angle again to the next fence. We were kind of going for a figure of 8 type of idea. Pops over that, knocks it, because you can tell there was absolutely no impulsion in that whatsoever. I just sat there and expected him to go for me. Then he saw something here. I think the horses were put out to the field at the bottom, so he just kind of looked, and I didn't have enough leg on to keep him cantering. So popped back up into canter and pulled a little circle here, because again I didn't feel like the canter was good enough to go into a fence with. So just pop in a little circle. You can see the fences are nice and small because I didn't want to do something that I've never done, like jump on an angle on a huge fence. Again, little flying change because he has the most unbalanced rider in the world. Pops over that. There we go, nice little pat for him. Because that was meant to be like a little course thing, but I had to pop the circles in. So nice little pat to finish. He jumped that one lovely and put that one up a little bit. Lovely flying change. Flew over that one, another lovely flying change. We've got the impulsion here, obviously. I've woke him up a little bit. Again, jumping this one on an angle. Popped over that, didn't get the change over that one, and did just tip it with his back feet, but it didn't knock it hard enough because it stayed up. Then I'm motorbiking around this corner, kept him in the counter canter because I felt like I had a good impulsion and I would kill it if I trotted. Flew down that double, and we decided to end it there.
This week's video. I'm still sat in the car because I didn't point this out. Can you notice that? Or notice what's not there? My R plates are off. Woo! I felt like I had to draw attention to that because the R plates are just like a part of the vlog now. Do you know what I mean? But they're gone. They're gone. They're never coming back. Happy days. But yes, that is the important thing that needed said in this video, obviously. But yes, no, I'll start my rambling about my R plates. That is all for this week's video. I do hope you enjoyed it. I have another little short video lined up for next week. And then I'll do a little Tenerife vlog because that's where I'm heading off to. So I do have some content lined up. I'm hoping I can get it all edited and stuff during the plane, and then that'll be all ready to go. But yes, I do hope you enjoyed. I can't wait to get a few more jumping lessons, start building the heights back up again. But obviously because he hadn't been jumped in so long, I just didn't want to start firing them up and risk hurting him, because there's no point. What is the point in that? But yes, it was a nice wee lesson. Obviously it didn't really go the way I'd hoped for it to go, but it didn't go badly, and that's the main thing. Nothing was left on a bad note, and that's what I'm all about. That's like my main mindset thing. But yes, enough of my rambling on. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, my hand is shaking so badly. Oh my goodness, I've got like shakes. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye!